Madam Askew, but it's not the Grand Arbiter tonight. Instead, it's TM Kuta and M.B. Kelly.
Exciting.
Oh, I'm laughing too much. I can't.
Good evening. Welcome to Chaos.
June Squill, thank you for being here and joining us. You know, Lady June Squill, as long as you're here and you're having a good time, all is right in the world. So thank you for joining us. I'm here today with my wonderful special guests, my co-host for this evening, TM Kuta and M.B. Kelly. Hello, my darlings. Oh my gosh. So exciting. We're here tonight because the Grand Arbiter scampered off to go meet with the fairies and, do fairy things as he likes to do sometimes, despite the danger to life and limb. But it also gives us a really good excuse to talk about Sapphic books, and we are definitely going to get into that. But before we get into our wonderful explosion of conversation about books and things, I would love to have my two wonderful guests introduce themselves and tell me and everyone here a little bit about what you have out in the world or maybe coming up. Ty, would you like to get us started?
Sure. My name is TM Kuta. I am a Sapphic author. I'm the author of A Common Bond, which is a construction lesbian romance set in the queerest small town ever. 13 of us all wrote novellas in the same small queer town. It's delightful. You can read all of them individually, and it's fantastic. Mine is the last in the series, but you can read it first. I just released a short story, a spicy sci-fi short story between a trans man and the girl he's been crushing on forever, who he gets in bed with her because his best friend, who's also her boyfriend, sets them up on a blind date.
It's very spicy. It's delicious.
That one is pure filth. This one is like 25% filth, maybe less.
Yeah, it's a perfect amount. It's a perfect amount. It's so sweet. And what about you, my darling Kelly? Please introduce yourself and tell us what you've got out in the world and going on.
Hello, my name is M.B. Kelly, but I will answer to Kelly. I have one book out so far. It is a urban paranormal fiction called To Want for Nothing. Warlocks summoning demons and then solving mysteries together. It's funny, and there's also some steamy bits, so that's going to be the first book in a 3-book series. So I've got those written. They're coming.
They're so good. The first book is so good too, and a wonderful setup already for what's to come. I'm like, oh, I cannot wait for the next book. Very excited. Hello, Calamity, and hello to our buttery goodness. I have it on good authority that today is your birthday, and you are here with all of us. Happy birthday, Bill. Oh my gosh, happy birthday, my darling. I'm so happy you're spending it with us tonight. And hello, we've got kittens and mouses here. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Kudos on the shirts, Kelly.
Thank you very much. It's my Molly Mock Tea Leaf shirt, and I am a great big gaming nerd as well. So
it's so good. So you've both got books out in the world. We're all queer here. We're all Sapphic people. We like people who are akin to us in certain ways, depending on the flavor and the day. But also, we're into books. We're all avid readers. And we're sort of brought together by books, I think, that's probably accurate. I mean, books and authors that we happen to love
books
together.
and authors in a science fiction fantasy convention. Which revolves around books, so that counts.
Yeah. That totally counts. Yes. Oh, more compliments on the shirt. Hello, Excalavi. It's good to see you, my darling. So we all were at Worldcon recently, and we had an incredible time and many late night conversations about books and things, as well as just swanning about the convention and enjoying panels, doing all the bookish things. And we had a great conversation in which we were like, we should do this conversation live. We should talk about this more. And I was like, guess what? I have a show. Let's talk about Sapphic books.
We should do it in public on the internet forever.
Right.
Yes.
Forever.
What could possibly go wrong?
Absolutely. And also, it's Sapphic September, so it's like the perfect time for it, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
This is the last weekend in Sapphic September, so
It is.
So this is your perfect cap, obviously.
Yes.
And you can go into October, which is Kinktober on AO3. But some of our books are spicy, so you can include those in your Kinktober reading.
Right.
Absolutely. Also, you can make it Sapphic all year round if you like.
I mean, that's what I do.
Heard a rumor. So I posted a link into the comments to the Sapphic September website. Sapphic September was started by a couple of people who love Sapphic books and decided to create an event celebrating Sapphic fiction and sharing recommendations, which I think is really delightful, because Sapphic books don't get as much love as other types of queer books. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about why and what we love and what we're into and all the things. Obviously in a short amount of time, because we're not here for 6 hours, even though I would keep you for 6 hours.
I mean, I can go for 6 hours.
I've heard that. Also, that's a very Sapphic answer of you.
Yeah.
And the Grand Arbiter's not here to stop us, so there's that as well. All right, so that's my sort of starter question, and I know it's a big one. But before we get into our book recommendations, why do you think Sapphic books don't get the same kind of love as other queer fiction?
And do you want my spicy take about it? My spicy anthropological take?
Yes.
My spicy anthropological take from being in fandom for 30 years and being Sapphic and watching the things go by is that male ships are often over-sexualized and are fetishized by straight men and sometimes straight women and sometimes queer women too. And sometimes it's a way for like queer women to come into their identity, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes they're just fetishizing the gay men. And I think it's easy to for them to be like, oh, it's two men. But then if they're thinking about their own queerness and they're a woman and they think about another woman, it becomes a little bit too personal and close to home, and it makes them uncomfortable. And so, but I think now we are getting a lot of Sapphic books that are coming out which celebrate Sapphic identity, and the Saphics who have craved attention are going, yes, this is what we want. And they've been buying books, and because more and more Sapphic books come out every day. So that's my hot spicy take.
That's a good one.
Thank you. That's a great one. All right. M.B. Kelly, what's your take?
I feel like I don't know if it's just the spaces that I've been in fandom and online where it has been. I find that I don't know if it's just the fandoms I've been in have lent themselves to the male, but they then end up being the predominant ship. And while people will then gender bend and twist it and stuff, so there are Sapphic versions of those ships, then it's not the predominant of that. And I feel like this is just my opinion and from what I've seen of people and my experience in the world, but I kind of feel like there's also this idea of being able to play with the male gender roles in a male-male relationship more so than I think in the Sapphic ones. So when you come from a society of ours where the the male figure is in a box, and you're able to break those walls down. I think there's a lot of ground there that people will play with more than women are already supposed to be like emotionally intelligent and good with relationships and stuff. So I feel like just in the fandom spaces I have inhabited, that's I think where there's less sapphic than male.
Yeah.
I think going off of that, I also think, speaking of like gender roles, I think a lot of times like lesbian relationship are often like, people are like, oh, it's only butch femme, it's only this, that, or this, that. And so they think, well, oh, if this character isn't like butch, then she can't be with this character or whatever. Like stuff like that. They think they want to assign, because like, I guess like male couples are very like easy to assign like top bottom and like and like otter and bear, like things like that. And there are versions of those for like the sapphic community, but it's not as well known as the gay male versions. And so I think because we can't be put in boxes, right? So people are like, oh, well, I can't assign a box. So, but I know this box, so I like that box. Let's go with that box. Because it's a box.
We can't be put in boxes because we're doing other things with boxes. I'm just saying. I think these are wonderful perspectives, and I see both of these things happening as well. But something that I sort of latched on to as a reader is that when I was younger, and as the eldest time traveler amongst us, that was a long time ago, a lot of the things I picked up that was Sapphic fiction were so heavy. It was really hard to find the kind of joyful stories with happy endings and successful romances. It was very heavy. It was like we'd all watch the Indigo Girls a lot. I mean, like, Sapphic fiction, but can we cry to it? And so there was a lot of that for a long time. So I really appreciate
There's a reason for that.
I'm sorry, what?
There's a historical reason for that.
Oh.
Yes. So I think it's the Hays Code. Forgive me, I was a lesbian historian in a past life, but it's been a while. But so basically there was a law that was passed that was basically banning obscene materials, which would include queer media, like in books that were then distributed through like queer bookstores and stuff. But it wasn't considered obscene if the queer couple didn't get a happy ending and one of them died. And that permeated for an extremely long time. And so, but like, obviously now we're like breaking out of that, but for a very long time, that's why a lot of like the like pulp books, the sapphic pulp books from like the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and like the 70s, before the Hays Code was I believe it's the Hays Code. If not, I'm really sorry.
I think you're right.
I think it's the Hays Code. Right.
Yeah, it's the Hays Code. But yeah, so like once that was like, you know, and they were able to like distribute actual like stories, then
yes.
I don't know if that's where if Bury Your Gaze ties into that or not. Yeah. That's a good observation though. I can see them related.
Yeah. So Excalibur, as I wonder if Bury Your Gaze ties in with that. It feels like there's likely a connection. But also, you know, this is one of those things, right, where probably a very complicated alchemy of things that came together, the Hays Code and this sort of like experience of no, queer people are allowed to have happy endings if we want to have queer stories whatsoever. And then develops into, if we have a queer person in the story, they have to die, right? Because usually they die, right? One of them has to die. So I guess that's just what we do. And maybe that's where we end up with Bury Your Gaze. Sarcophagus, my dear, had to end tragically as a moral of the story. Yes. And I like what Sarah Calamity Dawn, look, when you add real relationship stuff and emotions and icky feelings, it isn't hot, or is it? Depends on how it's done. But I do think sometimes too much realism when you're in an escapist mood can sort of take away from that mood. And we're in a time I think is really a golden time in fiction. It's complicated. We all know it's complicated because there's the greater context of what's going on in the world. But people are writing much more joyful, queer joy, infused romance and fiction, and I think it's a great time to be reading queer fiction of just about any
especially
flavor.
now with like the rise of the cozy genre. Like people
Yes.
want it. They need it in this, and where we are now, they need the escape and they need the happy
Yes.
fluffy like happy ending.
Yes.
So it's
Oh my gosh.
I have a feeling in like the next couple of years there's going to be a lot. I mean, cozy's already exploding, but I think it's going to explode even more, and we're going to see like even more stuff come out, and I'm very excited to see where that takes us.
Oh my gosh. I am so excited because I love cozy things, but also I'm so distracted by this comment from Scone Mistress because I'm obsessed with Eleanor Roosevelt. More on that later. Scone says, I saw a lovely thing recently about Eleanor Roosevelt. She apparently lived a good part of her life in a cabin. It's a historical landmark with her two best friends who were a lesbian couple. Also, Eleanor is
And
not
they
a straight
were
woman.
roommates.
Not a straight
I'm sorry,
woman.
they were cabin mates.
Yes. Mates. Oh, Eleanor. I love Eleanor Roosevelt, and I love that we have this like period of understanding more of her personal history, and people feel comfortable talking about her loves and her complicated relationship with FDR. I think it's really beautiful. But we're not going to stick with Eleanor right now because now is the time. We've talked about like some of the reasons why we think Sapphic books are not as prevalent, do not get the same love. I think there's probably even more to it than that because of the way the publishing industry works. If something is selling, that's what they keep publishing rather than taking a risk on something that hasn't been selling, right? Yeah. Like if you just gave it a little publishing push, people could discover that they really love that thing too. But we're here to help you all give publishing a push by recommending some books that we love. Look at that segue. That was a nice one.
That was lovely.
There you go. Very beautiful. Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you. So, of course, I love this. Give me romance and squish without smosh. Oh my gosh. That's great. That's great. Okay, so and Calamity, I do have a recommendation, probably a few for you, honestly, with cozy, happy endings and less spicy content. But we're gonna get into it, and so you want to do a lightning round, or just like each of us give maybe not a lightning round. We're not going to speed through it. No. We're Sapphic. We savor. We take our time with it. So, but maybe each of us could give.
It's not over in 10 minutes.
It is not.
Not.
So, let's start off. Each of us with a recommendation to share.
Kelly, what's your recommendation? You first. I've talked a lot.
I'm going to start with Travis Baldry's Legends and Lattes.
A classic.
I came to it because I like these type of like fantasy D&D-ish stories, and I love a strong orc woman and her, it's not called a tiefling in this, but infernal woman lover, and it's not high spice, but it's cozy and it's everything that I wanted. And the third book in the series is coming out in November, and I cannot wait.
So excited. Oh my gosh. And everyone, when I can, I'm going to drop links for the books into the chat for you. So you'll have an easy time looking them up. So yeah, no, God, I love that book. I think it's really been a wonderful, like, instigator of a lot of similar things too. So it's the book that keeps giving, because we get the series, but also a bunch of people are like, people will read this and I'm like, yes, please write more, give me more. That would be great. Okay, Ty.
Okay, so my first recommendation is I don't read cozy. My deepest apologies, but I really love A Blue Stockings Guide to Decadence by Jess Everly. This book is, oh my god, it's so good, and the audiobook is even better. um, so but it's a very delightful romance between a female doctor and a publisher of spicy things in a bookstore owner in the 1880s 1890s, and there is some like background of like the laws that were being passed in that era, but it's very background. It's a very happy like found family ending. Like it's so delightful. This has become, I read this book for book club, and I then proceeded to re-listen to it 3 times before my library hold ran out. So, and then I later got the library hold out again to listen to it again. So that's where we're at with this book. So it's Blue Stockings Guide to Decadence. It's excellent.
Okay, well that's going on my TBR. That sounds
Right? I'm writing it
amazing.
down.
It's
Yes.
if you are a fan of Romancing the Inventor, you will like the bookstore owner.
All right, look, and of course, we all talked about it a little bit before we got going because we all know and love Gail Carriger. We love her work, and Romancing the Inventor is such a fantastic installment in her Greater Parasol Protectorate books.
I've got mine
And
here.
look at that. M.B. Kelly in with the book, physical book, boom, right there. So good.
Another Sapphic book. Competence.
So sweet. I love both of these books.
I love this book so much.
So good.
It's
It's
so
good. Oh my gosh. And you know what, everyone? I will try and put together a list afterwards too. I'm dropping links, but I'll try and put together a list afterward to share with everyone so you can like have all the books and links at your ease. But here we go. Competence, and I'll come back with Romancing the Inventor in just a moment because I have to add in this one is for Calamity Dawn. This is for everyone who is suffering with menopause and perimenopause. I really need everyone to read this book. It's Silver Moon by Catherine Lundoff.
Ah.
It is about her menopausal werewolves. I love this book so much. It's an urban fantasy, so it's sort of set contemporary times. One of the characters is bisexual, and she is like newly divorced. Her life is on fire, and she has started menopause.
And she herself is also on fire. Periodically.
Technically, she's perimenopausal if you want to get technical, but whatever. We all know it doesn't matter. Once you're in the grips, you don't really care about technicalities. You care about ice packs and stabbing things. So I don't want to give too much away, but there's a whole werewolf pack that is all menopausal women. And your werewolf transformation comes on in this town when the menopause starts for you, and hot flashes are the sign that you're about to turn into a werewolf. And of course, it's a band of women, and they're like, well, we have to. Yeah, they like do good things in their community, and they're maybe destroying some terrible corporate people. It's very satisfying. It's wonderful. It's the start of a series. Book 2 is out. You need to get it. It's been translated into German. They're audiobooks, strangely enough, the German thing. And the 3rd book is coming. So Catherine is a wonderful writer. She's the master behind Queen of Swords Press, which produces a lot of Sapphic and queer literature. But this book, I need everyone to read it because it's so fun. Yeah. All right. So that's That's my throw out there. And also it's slow spice. There's a little bit of spice, but it's not super spicy because it's more about the relationships, and the canoodling largely happens like fade to black behind closed doors sort of thing.
Yeah,
So
close door. Yeah.
yeah, it's wonderful though. Menopausal werewolves. That's all I've got to say. Every time I think about it, I get excited. All right, Ty.
Yes.
What's your next recommendation for us?
I would be remiss if I did not shout out one of my fellow indie authors and person who came out of fandom with me. I met J.E. Glass in Ghostbusters 2016 fandom. And this book, Undergrounder, is Jay's first book. It is a sapphic retelling of the 1980s Beauty and the Beast movie. So set in the sewers of New York City. It is excellent. It's so good. I love it so much. And Jay, I believe, is currently working on a sequel, and they also have another book that's coming out, but right now they are in the throes of Agatha All Along fandom, so they've been writing a lot of Agatha All Along, which, like, more power to them, because, like, same. Have we lost Madame Askew? Oh no.
She did. She does look a bit frozen.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, it's just us now.
I don't know what this means.
Just us. Let the chaos begin. Kelly, what's your next recommendation?
Yeah, I can keep carrying on. It looks like everything else is still going. I don't know if this means that she will be rejoining us.
She just said that she'll be back in a minute.
Okay. I'm going to go the opposite direction of Madame Askew's suggestion and go for a YA novel called The No Girlfriend Rule.
Oh, I've heard of that one. I haven't read it yet.
Again, I got into it because it's about a girl who wants to join it's not Dungeons and Dragons, it's sorcery and something else. So it's an SNS game. But her boyfriend was like, there's no girlfriends allowed at our table. So she ends up finding a all-female queer-friendly table to play with. And it's just a really good story about it's that final year of high school. You're trying to find out who you are. Back. Welcome back.
You have to behave now.
Because we were so naughty while she was gone.
Holding down the fort. Please continue.
So yeah, I like the no girlfriend rule. Again, it also deals a lot with mental illness and not stigmatizing that. So
we love that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And please continue, because I have to reset up everything on my end, because I had to shut down everything, including all of my very handy dandy tabs with my recommendations and links on them.
No. So does that mean it's back to Ty?
I guess it's back to me, yeah. So I will recommend, so these are two historical books by Olivia Waithe. Olivia Waithe writes lots of sapphic stuff. Her most recent one is a sci-fi novella that's excellent, but these are, I believe, her first two. The Lady's Guide to Celestial Mechanics, which is the first one, and the Care and Feeding of Washer's Widows. Both of these are excellent. I was recommended this one, read it in like less than a day, and immediately ran to go get this one. Like that's like the level we were at. They are so good. If I remember correctly, they're fade to black, low spice. It's been a while. I haven't reread them in a while, but if I remember correctly, they're fade to black, low spice. And then...
So, I have to say, I love that you pulled that one as your recommendation, because it is like on my list as well. Also, hello, Piper at random.
Oh my goodness, hello, Piper.
Hello, welcome. I'm so happy you're here.
Kelly.
Please continue. I'm still pulling my stuff up.
Okay.
I was just like, I happen to know that's on my list, and I happen to have the link ready to go, which is very like.
Oh, there you go.
Wonderful.
I'm gonna go graphic novel High Spice. It's a series called Sunstone by I don't know how to pronounce his name, Stepyan Sejic, and it's about two women exploring modern relationships and BDSM relationships. Ooh. Very spicy. There's 10 books in the series, and I've actually only got the first 7 so far. So
Excellent.
But I got introduced to this by a friend, and I immediately turned around and started buying them up for myself.
So
That's wonderful.
I think my next recommendation. So I preface this by saying the Sapphic romance is extremely minimal because the Sapphic romance really happens in like the second book. And I have problems with how the Sapphic romance is set up. But if you want an excellent book, an excellent political sci-fi book, A Memory Called Empire is absolutely stunning. This is like one of those books where like I read it and then like could not read another book because I was like, I don't usually get book hangovers. I got a book hangover from this. It was so like, this book is so good. It's amazing. Highly recommended if you like science fiction. It's excellent. I believe it won the Hugo in 2020. So if you subscribe to those sorts of things, it won a Hugo. So
Excellent. Well, we talked a little bit about this one before we went live, and I was like, oh, it's been on my TBR, and you like definitely have made me want to move it up my TBR list. Also, there is the Sunstone link if you're
also
looking for something.
the naming conventions are amazing. The characters are named after a number and a plant. So the assistant character is named 3 Seagrass. And there are a whole bunch of like ludicrous like names for like that like come up because of this naming convention, and they're like peppered throughout the book, and it's fantastic. It's delightful. The whimsy makes me very happy.
Oh, I love whimsy. I'm very keen. So that sounds like it ameliorates some of the like political intrigue and other things to have some whimsy in there. All right, Kelly, and then I'll jump back in.
I was gonna say, you only asked us to prepare like 3.
I can jump in.
I was gonna say, I read a book while I was at Worldcon. Well, I started at Worldcon. I finished when I got home, called Common Pond.
Oh my god.
I actually really do enjoy it. I finished that book, and the same day I went to a Home Depot. It was like the two things were connected. It was just a really good story. I didn't think that it was, if you've noticed, I read a lot of fantasy-based stuff, but I really love character relationships. And the 2 women in this book, I found them very intriguing and super relatable. So
it's true. They are so good. It's such a charming book. It was the first thing I read by time.
It is for those who missed it at the front, who came in a little bit late, it is a contemporary lesbian romance novella set in the gayest small town ever. And it's set on a construction site because I work construction in my day-to-day life. And at the time, I had a lot of feelings to process. So,
I love it.
Ask me
so
some kind in person what feelings were processed, and all of the Easter eggs I have hidden in that book to the Washington, D.C. construction community.
I was like, you wrote it so well. I know very little about construction, but I knew that these people knew what they were talking about.
Yes. Also, it's a lot of early mornings, and I was like,
this is what construction is, unfortunately.
Construction is not for me, and I could not date someone in construction. They would be very upset with my like night owl ways and the amount of caffeine I consume. So...
Oh, don't fool yourself. People in construction consume a lot of caffeine.
So, all right. Well, I'm going to jump back in. Absolutely. I want to talk about Karen Memory by Elizabeth Dare. It's it's a book we've done for our virtual book chat, our steampunk book chat. It is a steampunk novel. It's a wonderful like reimagining of Seattle in the 19th century, but like gayer and with steampunk stuff. My favorite part is the sewing machine. If you know, you know, because it's not what you think it is. It's so cool. But they are women who have been through it, who are working as sex workers to make their way in the world and to take on corruption and also human trafficking. And so there's a lot of like intense storytelling, against which this romance develops between the main protagonist of the story and the woman she falls in love with. And you know, is Karen bisexual? Is she pragmatic? I'm not going to try and identify her overall identity, because she's not, like, her sex work is just a job. She doesn't like enjoy it. She just does a good job at it. The person she's interested in is this sort of non-binary, feminine woman who is, you know, been through the ringer, essentially, and for whom she takes on all of the bad guys in the city. It's a wonderful story. It's the start of a series. Stone Mad is out already, but Angel Maker is on its way. It's coming out. If it's not out, it's going to be out imminently. So you got 3 wonderful books to enjoy with these characters. Elizabeth Bear is an excellent writer. And I love Karen Memory. She's such a great character. She's just very wry and witty, and like, she will survive. Also, she knows what all the bullshit is, and she calls it out internally while being able to put a good face on when she has to like be pretty to earn money. I love that dichotomy and her internal discussion. And Bill says Angel Maker is available now, so look at that. Start the series and finish the series. It's a perfect time to get into it. So yeah, highly recommend that one. It's a personal favorite. I have read it many times, and I keep recommending it to steampunk lovers everywhere. So top 10s across the board. All right. So I can keep going. I don't know what you discussed while I disappeared into the void. So
I don't remember. I discussed Undergrounder, I think, right?
I think
yes, you were just
you were finishing that, and then I talked about the no girlfriend rule.
That's right. Yeah. I have one more book to recommend. I mean, I have one more. I guess non-angsty book. I mean, not so. Anyway, Fly With Me by Andy Burke. Andy is a local Maryland author. I have met her. She is delightful. And so Fly With Me is about a pilot and a woman who's a nurse who saves someone on her plane, and they end up like going to Disney. It's a whole thing, and then they like end up in a relationship. The second book is a fun like home renovation with like one of her coworkers and like the person he's like he's living next to. And then she just had her third book just came out. I literally this week, I haven't been able to read it, but it is a sapphic romance set in a bookstore, if I remember correctly. And I know one of the characters has chronic migraines, but I have not read it. But knowing the first 2, I'm sure it's excellent, and I'm very excited to read it.
Ooh. Oh, that sounds so good. Also, I love when you have like a personal connection to the author, and you can be like, this book is good and the author is wonderful. Let's go out. Let's like buy the books, check them out from your library, recommend them to your friends. That's so lovely.
I have to, as a person who likes Hurt, Comfort, and Wump, if you haven't read, so The Jasmine Throne is Tasha Shuri's first book out of the 3 in this trilogy. It's excellent. It's angsty. It's sapphic. It's thick. She's thick, but it's very, very good. This was one of the first. This came out during the pandemic, if I remember correctly, and it came out the summer. There were 3 sapphic books that all had yellow covers that came out at the same time. So the other books were The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke and She Who Became the Sun by, is it R.F. Kuang, I think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds
So,
right.
so I did not enjoy She Who Becomes the Sun, but that's just me. I did enjoy The Unbroken, which is even darker than the Jasmine Throne. So, and it's not a romance. It's sapphic, but it's not a romance. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, so, and then I think Tasha Shuri is coming out with a, who I got to see on the Morley Gray panel at Worldcon last year. Delightful. Absolutely fantastic. And she has a Sapphic Night book coming out very, very soon. She's been promoting it online, so I know it's coming out soon. I don't know when exactly. My best friend is very excited about it. Sends me like every new post about it, but I do not know exactly when it's coming out. But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And that's what I've got. Those are the books I have to recommend.
All right, look, these are so good. And I want to read all of them. And also, I don't want to like keep us forever in the recommendations then, because we have more fun for everyone. But I want to sort of finish out with a nice, strong recommendation that is cozy and low spice, romance. I have a bunch of recommendations for Sapphic reads that are probably that appeal to steampunk readers in particular, but anyone who likes historical fantasy or that sort of like, you know, high fantasy that has a little bit of that like 19th century vibe to it. I've got those for certain, but we have not talked about Rebecca Thorne, and we need to talk about Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. It's such a wonderful start to her trilogy about these characters. There's a sword babe. There's a wizard. There against a corrupt government. They're here for love. They have to save mystical creatures. Start a tea house. It's wonderful.
What I really like about Rebecca Thorne's books is that they start in a relationship. So like it's not about them falling in love, it's about them like figuring out their relationship and like how they're gonna get like and like figuring out their after, and they're figuring out their happily ever after together, which I thought was very. And then they have, and if you find that like Legends and Lattes and some of the other cozy fantasy books are a little bit too without plot for you, Rebecca Thorne's books have more plot, and so they might be a better alternative for you in the cozy genre.
Yeah, they're cozy. Their stakes are a little bit higher, but they're not like we have to save the world from impending apocalypse.
And there's 4 of them.
There are 4.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I had 3 in my brain.
The 4th one just came out. It just came out like a month or 2 ago. So it's a very recent release. Yeah.
She's also just, there's a lot of wit. Her characters are, I think, really engaging. A lot of the side characters are very fun. And so I'm always so happy to see what's going on with the side characters and those side romances as well.
I love Dior and Theo and like the person that they are like in hate mance with. And I have not read the 4th book yet, and if they do not like end up together in the 4th book, I am going to personally riot.
Right? Oh my gosh! All right, Piper. What?
Yes.
Also, look.
Yes. I didn't have a physical copy, but love. Excellent books.
All right. So Piper mentions Aliette de Bodard, who is a wonderful writer. I have not had the pleasure of delving into their catalogue enough. And honestly, when I was throwing together my recommendations, I completely forgot to even include one of these books. So I'm so happy you brought that up, Piper. Let me pull up one of her books so we can...
I'm pulling up which ones.
There
have been several. I think Fireheart Tiger was very excellent. If it will pull up on my phone, I don't know if it will.
I've got it here. I haven't read that one, so I'm just going to drop the.
I read it. I enjoyed it. I really want to read Navigational Entanglements, which is one of the more recent books. It's a Sapphic. It's a science fiction space opera lesbian literature, according to the internet. But I think it was up for the Hugo this year. I don't think it won, but it's been on my TBR for a while. So
wonderful. And Piper recommends Red Scholar's Wake.
That's one I really want to read. It's on my TBR. It's higher.
Yeah.
Up on my TBR.
I dropped both of those links in the chat. Piper, you're so wise. Thank you so much for these excellent recommendations. Also, I'm just like always chuffed when you're able to join us, whether you're here as a guest or you're here in the comments. It's a real pleasure. So thank you for adding to the conversation. So we have barraged all of you with recommendations. I mean, a wall of recommendations. We went well over our 3 per person. Kelly, you are very brave and strong, and you persevered. So when we were planning, I was like, oh yeah, we'll probably only get to like 3 recommendations a piece. I mean, you know, and then I forgot that the Grand Arbiter isn't here to be like,
Ty coming into the stack of like 7.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy you could pop in before your flight, Piper. Also, have a safe flight.
Yes.
Safe flight,
you know,
please.
let us know you arrived safely and in one piece. But we have a Patrons Corner topic for this week, inspired by the general overall topic of Sapphic goodness, as it were. I'm very excited. It was like there was a slow start to the poll, and I was like, oh no, are we going to have to choose ourselves? I hate choosing myself. I want somebody else to choose for me. You came through. You voted, and our topic for today is From Xena to Scully, Sapphic icons who rock our world.
Do they have to be fictional?
No.
Excellent.
They do not have to be fictional. Sapphic icons from any place, fiction, history, a different dimension. I'm very open to all of the options.
Thank you, Scott.
Yes.
Also, excellent.
Thank
book.
you. Excellent recommendations. All right. TM Kuta.
Yes.
You clearly have some thoughts. You've had a moment to think about it. So
I was told beforehand Kelly was not. I have anxiety, so I was like, you need to tell me, otherwise I will freeze up on the spot. But thankfully, I know some lesbian icons, not personally, but my favorite lesbian icon in general is Katie Lang, the singer, who has the voice of an angel and is so fucking handsome. Hello. Like, butch icon extraordinaire, like, her album with the Sis Boom Bang is like, and then of course everyone knows like her other songs, so like her Hallelujah cover and like other songs. She's great. And then my other lesbian icon is I guess a twofer, Dr. Jillian Holtzman in the 2016 Ghostbusters movie, played by Kate McKinnon, who is a real life lesbian. So 2 for 1.
Yes. Oh
I know many people in 2016 Ghostbusters fandom who discovered their sexuality when Kate McKinnon licked the guns in the final battle sequence. Yes. They realized things about themselves in those movie theaters that they did not know until then.
You know, as an aside, and Bill, I see your question, and we're going to put it up here momentarily. As an aside, one of my favorite topics is, what was the moment, who was the figure that was like your revelation? And I love that there's a generation of people for whom Kate McKinnon in Ghostbusters is that for them, because Katie Lang on the cover of I can't remember if it was Rolling Stone or Newsweek
it was one of them, but it was like her in the chair being shaved. Yeah, that one. That's a great one.
By like some like
it was like by a supermodel.
Some hot woman in a bodysuit, whatever. It was Katie Lang that I could not take my eyes off of. I was like, Oh no. Honestly, I was
Vanity
in
Fair
the,
is correct, yeah.
I was in the grocery in line with my grandmama at the time. And I was like, oh no, grandmama, can I have this? And she's like, why do you want it? I was like, I love music so much. Anyway,
Obviously,
yes.
that's the only reason.
Music. Also, yes, Kate McKinnon stole every scene she's in. She's just brilliant. And before we answer Bill's question, Kelly, do you have one for us?
I mean, Xena was definitely a big one for me, but my brain just went. I'm like, were these women I was attracted to, or were these actually Sapphic characters? And I kind of like had to do like a quick search to even start like my brains. This might be really weird, but Catra from She-Ra and the Princess of Power.
Not weird. That's not weird.
The lesbian icon.
She's an
indeed.
icon.
I really liked that character, and I love all of the fan art around her and Adora.
Hey, Adora. I was like, oh, that is not straight.
So good. Yeah. Oh, Bill remembers the cover. It was Vanity Fair. It was just so good.
She's not a lesbian icon because she's not a lesbian, but many lesbians came out because they like realized by seeing her. Sigourney Weaver, but mine is not Alien. Mine is her as the warden in Holes. Because I have a problem. I like an evil woman, okay?
That's not surprising from any of the conversations I've had with you.
None of the books are
Also,
right.
you are not alone. Catra, absolutely an icon. So amazing. I love the new She-Ra. I mean, it's not brand new anymore, but it's the newer one. It's so good. And I was very resistant to watching it because I was like, the Grand Arbiter had to strong arm me into watching it. He was like, you're going to love it, though. I was like, I don't know. I struggle with cartoon things. He was like, shut up and watch it. I paraphrase. And then I got very concerned about Catra and what was going to happen to her. And I had many strong feelings. She's an amazing character. But let's answer Bill's question because I keep telling him we'll answer it. Neither of you have read this book, so it was one of our recent book club reads, and it does have Sapphic characters in it. Not everyone is Sapphic in it, but I would put this in a Sapphic. Like, you know, if you're interested in something that has good queer representation and has good Sapphic characters, it's like a side plot with a Sapphic romance. That is the one. It's a fantastic read. Another book from Queen of Swords Press. I highly recommend it. So, yeah. So I made you both go, but I don't think I've gone yet, have I? So, I really, you know, you a little bit. Katie Lang was on my list, but no, it's all right. She's so great, and I certainly love Xena. She's also wonderful. And that was like, I think the first time I remember that kind of conversation being super prolific in the sort of public sphere. But I really think that Eleanor Roosevelt is mine because I cosplayed her in elementary school and to do like a history presentation about her. I was really obsessed with Eleanor Roosevelt and what a strong woman she was. Now she was out there doing things and making the world better, and I wanted to be her bestie.
Turns out
the way that people are reclaiming Eleanor Roosevelt, Madam Roosevelt. I shouldn't call her by her first name. We're not formally introduced, but the way in which people talk about her, you know, and are talking about her loves and her life and the way she had to be closeted, but was definitely a queer woman is really wonderful. So I love that she's having her moment right now. It feels very joyful, and I still love her very much. She's a wonderful historical figure. So I'll leave that little gem there.
I mean, that's a great way. That's a great place to. That's great.
Right. Okay. Round robin. TM.
Yes.
Do you have another one for us?
I don't remember their names off the top of my head, but there were two women doctors who basically fought to be like war doctors during the First World War. And they like had a teaching school for women and stuff. I don't remember their names. I read the book like a couple months ago, a nonfiction book, but it was an excellent book, and they it didn't say they were sapphic, but like I read between the lines. I was like, But like a lot of those early pioneer like women who were like in like male dominated fields and who were breaking into like things like doctors and stuff like that. Like that is all they're mostly like when you like dig into them, they're all sapphic. Also, I think I would be remiss without mentioning Anne Lister.
Yes.
Of Gentleman Jack fame and Diaries fame. A very popular, noted lesbian. She was not a good person, so I would not necessarily call her an icon, but she is a very well-known sapphic, historical sapphic. And the show Gentleman Jack did a very good job of kind of portraying her and more accurately than some of like the earlier things have. They weren't Canadian. They were British. Do I have the book on my shelf?
Maybe.
Yes, I do. Hold on.
Oh, good. Oh, I love this. Piper says an early love for her was Sailor Uranus and Sailor Saturn.
I remember because I bought it because I loved, like, this was such a good book. So the book is called No Man's Land. It's about Flora Murray and Louise Garrett Anderson. And they were also not great people, but they were pioneers in the field, and they did they did a lot of good for soldiers during the war.
Ooh. Complicated people.
Like when your country is like feeding young men to the slaughter, like
yes,
it wasn't a good situation in any light. So, but
it's a bad time.
This is also just like a really good book. I recommend it. There's an audiobook, which is how I listened to it, and then I bought the physical copy because I enjoyed the audiobook so much. So
gorgeous. And I am pulling up a link for that one as well because I'm trying to remember to be good. But also I like what Bill has to say. You can be an icon and not a good person because, Darth Vader is iconic and not a good person. Not really. Maybe with a redemption arc in there. But is he good?
No.
I don't think so. I also love, to return to Piper's, I love this comment about Sailor Uranus and Sailor Saturn, because that's a sort of like, I know there's a bit of that's sub rosa with their Sapphic story, but it's there if you can pick up on the cues, and I think that's wonderful.
That's in the English version, and in the Japanese version, it's more explicit.
Oh, delicious. Oh my gosh. All right. M.B. Kelly, your turn.
I think The one that kind of comes back to mind for me, though I don't remember a whole lot about the series anymore. It's been a while. It was Sense8, and there was that couple, Nomi Marks and Amanita, and their relationship in that I thought was something that still kind of sticks with me, even though I don't remember very much else about that show.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That show was so good, and so like the emotional stakes was so high for it. I had to keep like stepping away from it to be like, I need to like meditate and drink tea and eat chocolate because I feel really devastated. I didn't even make it through the episode, but it was like an incredible piece of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And their romance was like so powerful. Oh, mate. All right. No, look, I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. Alicia, first of all, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Because I was like, that woman who fenced and did opera and burned down a nunnery, her. I really like her, but I can't remember her name. So thank you, Alicia, for bringing up one of my favorite Sapphic icons, Julie Dabry, who is like just an absolutely absurd historical figure. And if I'd met her, I would not have had good boundaries. So
Oh my.
opera, all right. It would have been because I like music so much.
Obviously.
Also, Piper coming back in with some more about the Sailor Moon and the also card captor Sakura. Oh, my Japanese is bad. Which is one of the Grand Arbiter's favorites, Piper. He loves it so much. Yes, and about Julie, she had to be pardoned by the French king not once but twice. Not once but twice! And he did it twice!
Amazing. Amazing.
Yes. An icon for the ages. Absolutely stunning. She's well worth reading about if you can. There's not a ton of scholarship about her, but what you can find is very like delicious. We'll leave it at that. It's very delicious. So she's my kind of lady. Fencing, stealing hearts, singing opera, burning down a nunnery. All right, let's go, Julie.
We love a badass queen.
In my perfect world, there's a movie of her life with Kate McKinnon playing her. It's clearly not an entirely serious movie at that point, but I don't need it to be. I need it to be very campy, actually, and very large. So, all right, before we, oh my gosh, iconic to be pardoned and survive to be pardoned again. Absolutely. I mean, what a survivor. She's amazing. So we have run over a bit, and that's okay. We could keep going because we're Sapphic and we've got the power. So before we move on to anything else, you two, do you have other icons you'd like to make sure everyone goes home with this knowledge, this like new icon to add to their own personal Rolodex, as it were?
Yeah, the other one I can think of is Dr. Mary Walker, who was a Civil War doctor. She was a woman who was a Civil War doctor, and she was known for cross-dressing or wearing men's clothes.
Yes.
And she was very so she's been kind of seen as like a gender pioneer. I don't remember if she was Sapphic or not, but like definitely like would be considered quote unquote butch.
Yes.
Literally who I was thinking of, but I could not remember her name. I was like, there was this doctor who dressed as, but I couldn't remember the name. So thank you for reading my mind.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's been so helpful because I definitely get into that where I'm like, there's this person who did this thing at this time and they wore this, and I remember all the details except the most important one, their name.
Yeah.
So,
I think also Stormy Delaurier, who is the I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, but she was the butch lesbian of color who was the reason the Stonewall riots occurred.
Yes.
Again, name escaped me, but yes.
Badass. Like was like the protector of like the New York neighborhoods for like ever. Amazing person. Josephine Baker as well. Josephine Baker, not necessarily, I think she was bisexual, but just was a spy during World War II. Like, I could go on and on.
A groundbreaking figure. And again, such good music. So I can always say I really was into her for the music.
Yes.
I love this. Stop with the dimples. Oh, Piper, you know, we need these classic Sapphic lines. They're very important. They help us find our way. Scorn Mistress says she feels the need to promote the work of her late aunt Chris Ann Wolfe, who was writing Sapphic fantasy in the 1980s. Scorn Mistress, yes, you do. In fact, you absolutely do. So, as a tangent, because we're all about the tangents here, I had a lot of fun at the Women in Sci-Fi panel at Worldcon. It was about, you know, women writers who come up and sort of like been the sort of pioneers of women in sci-fi, and so many Sapphic voices who have been lost to time because mid-list authors and authors writing in the 80s, you know, even if they're like cis hetero folks, they will get sort of washed away by time. But if you're queer, there's like a double whammy. It's even harder to like find out about these people. And one of the things we learned in that panel is that the list that was curated and posted to Wikipedia kept getting torn down and removed, and so making it even harder. Isn't that fun? It's so fun. I love it so much. So thank you for reminding us of Chris Ann Wolfe, and always thank you for sharing any authors and Sapphic books that you love and think we should read, because sharing is caring. And also the best way to support your author friends is to tell people about their books and recommend them, and then leave a review on every platform that you possibly can. I recommend copying and pasting personally. Yes. I love this. Piper says, shaping for me, though I'm not sure they count as iconic. They're iconic in your life.
Iconic to you.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Her 3 Thai aunties living together in Thailand as she grew up, incredible women, each of them. I love that. All right. I took us on a tangent, so I don't remember where we were at. I think it was your turn, Kelly. So if you have someone else you'd like to share, but you don't have to, because you know.
I was gonna say the names. The names are escaping me. Like
start
I can
describing them. Maybe I'll be able to know. What
the thing is, I can think lots of like queer lesbian characters, but they're not people that I would want to recommend. Just people that I was like, oh well, she was, and so I'm like, I'm just drawing a blank right now, unfortunately.
Right. I mean, look, I do like the Mad Libs idea, describing people and see if Ty can remember them. I'm going to
bring out the Rolodex from like the old dusty lesbian historian era. See what I can find.
Shocking us on a tangent. And also, as you said earlier, the Grand Arbiter isn't here. So thanks for like indulging me. So I have to mention Dr. Mac from Honey Fisher Murder Mysteries. If you haven't watched that show, it's so lovely. The costumes are really good. And so's the acting and the storylines, but the costumes are so good. And then Dr. Mac walks into a room, and every time I'm like, is there a story, or is there only Dr. Mac in another tweed pantsuit with her hair pulled back and a really dapper hat?
I would die for Dr. Elizabeth McMillan, actually. I love her so much. She's so dry and sarcastic, and like her one-liners are some of the best ever.
Yeah, she's incredible. Kelly, are you a fan of like that sort of British Empire kind of murder mystery vibe. Have you watched Friday Fisher?
I know of the show. It is not one I have picked up as of yet.
Well, you should definitely watch it for Dr. Mac, but also it's good
Yes.
for
Okay.
other reasons.
It's also enjoyable. And also,
Yes.
like, Friday Fisher is so clearly bisexual. I will die on this hill. I will die on that hill.
Straight. Not in any universe. No way. No. She gives
not.
big bisexual energy. Whatever it is, she's got it.
Oh, I should recommend. I have this poster on my wall. So this is from a movie called No Secret Anymore about two lesbians, Del Martin and Phyllis Lyons. They're two very famous lesbians in lesbian history. And this was, I believe, a movie poster documentary. And it was signed by another famous lesbian that I happen to know in this region, Jeb or Joan Byron. She is a very famous lesbian photographer. She came out. She has several books out of photographs. And one of them was just re-released. We love that for her. She's 86. She's about this tall, and she's great. Love her so much. But
oh my gosh.
So, but yeah, so she was a lesbian photographer in Washington D.C. and also tons of other places she got around. But she was, when I wrote my master's thesis, her photographs, because she was a trusted member of the community, she was actually allowed inside the gay bars when it was illegal to be gay and when you could be fired for being gay. And there were like witch hunts against, federal employees, and they were like kicked out for being gay. But because Joan was a trusted member of the community, she was allowed inside with her camera. And so I was able to find, I wrote my thesis on the oldest lesbian bar, the oldest continually operating lesbian bar in the United States before it closed. And I was able to find, it's almost impossible to find photographs of the inside of a bar between even before the 1990s. And I found photographs in her collection from the 1970s. And I was able to track the inside of the bar as it changed, because I found that photograph and through all the memory mapping projects I did. So I love Joan. But yeah, so Phyllis Lyons and Del Martin, lovers, awesome people. I believe their house is now on the National Register of Historic Places. There are also several other lesbian houses that are on the National Register of Historic Places, including several in DC.
Oh my gosh.
There you go. That's your
oh. Look, first of all, thank you so much for sharing that beautiful
this is also
bit.
part of lesbian history. The Lesbian Avengers, who were also iconic. They ate fire in front of the White House as a protest.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. So, which I believe those photographs were also taken by Jeb.
It's amazing. I had no idea. I love that. Yeah. That's so cool. Also,
anyway, now I've taken all this on a tangent. My apologies.
No apologies. We love a tangent, but also Alicia agrees with us. Friday is totally bi, and yeah, no. Put it on your list, Kelly.
I will.
Very cozy watching. Very
Friday Fisher got me through grad school. That was one of the shows that I binge watched during grad school. I also binge watched Grace and Frankie, which is a very queer show, and those two characters, Grace and Frankie,
yes,
very. Kimmy's right. I should have mentioned Amber Liu. She's a singer. She was in a K-pop group called F4, and now she's a solo artist.
Ooh.
Having a star.
She definitely, a lot of her videos are queer storylines and stuff. It's just a lot of her music's really good. I think very inclusive.
Excellent. Oh, bringing it in with another musician, because you know how I feel about music. So
There are a bunch of new artists doing that really great work. Off the top of my head, I can think of like King Princess. Hold on, I can just pull up Spotify. But I know King Princess is one. There are a lot of like Sapphic. There are a lot of new Sapphic authors who are coming out with like actively like super Sapphic songs, and they're great.
no, it's a wonderful look. Things are difficult. The context around us and having this conversation, the world is really hard right now. There's a lot that is harrowing and distressing, but it's also such an amazing, incredibly fecund period of queer art. It's very out. There is not subtext, it's the text. And I love that. I do and will forever have a very important part of my heart dedicated to like the Indigo Girls and that vintage. And you know, joking aside, they're just such brilliant musicians, and they were incredibly important to me as a young person, and they continue to be important to me. And I'm always really delighted when I meet a young person who's like, who are the Indigo Girls? And I'm like, oh, I have so much to tell you. I'm so excited to introduce you to the icons. And they are icons. They are so, we scratch the surface. There are so many incredible, wonderful icons that we could be talking about. But again, I won't keep you for 6 hours, even if I could. I know it's very, I know it's things like it's late, that will eventually run out of steam, probably. I'll run out of tea. I don't know. Kelly might need to run and watch Friday Fisher's Murder Mysteries after we have like talked it up so much. So before we like forget and run into another tangent, as we are coming possibly towards a wrapping up point, please remind everyone who you are, what you wrote, what you're writing, and where they can find your things. Kelly, do you want to start us off? Because last time I made Ty start.
All right. My name is M.B. Kelly. I wrote this urban fantasy series. This is the first one's out so far, called To Want for Nothing. There's queer representation in this book. It gets stronger in the second book as well. And I'm also, because I'm in the editing portion, have been distracted and been trying to write my own Sapphic novel while I'm trying to edit this one. So hopefully after this series is out, I'll have something else to share.
Influences, and we don't apologize.
Yeah. So yeah, and you can find me mb-kelly.com. If you go to my contact pages, where you can find me everywhere, my Blue Sky, my TikTok, my Pinterest, like everywhere that I am online, you can find on my website.
Thank you. And Kelly, it's so wonderful to finally have this conversation with you and to get to like do a stream with you. We've been talking about it. I'm so happy we could like, you know, take over Friday Tea. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an experience taking this conversation from the hotel rooms at conventions to now.
Right? Like, look, I cannot stress how delightful it was enough that we were like late at night, strung out. You know, we'd been trouncing all over Worldcon. Maybe not trouncing, tramping, more like, although maybe I was trouncing people too. I swear to nothing. But having those late night conversations over like mineral water and Turkish delight and Tim Tams. We ate so many Tim Tams. It was wonderful. Those were magical conversations, and I love that we get to bring some of that here tonight to share with everybody. And also, I definitely put Kelly's website at the bottom of the screen so you can easily find it. Yeah. All right. Your turn, Ty.
So my name's TM Kuta. You can find me at TM Kuta Writes wherever fine social medias are sold. You can go down to the link tree. I'm most active on Instagram and TikTok at the moment. That may change. Who knows? We'll find out. My Sapphic book is A Common Bond. Obviously, we've already talked about this ad nauseum. My most recent short story is a trans sci-fi poly romance that came out right before Worldcon. And I'm currently working on a enemies to lovers solar punk sapphic romance between two menopause. Jesus Christ! Can you tell it's almost 11 on the East Coast?
Yes.
Between two perimenopausal women. So there's lots of and the two characters actually like the ice thaws because one of the characters has a hot flash. And that's how she's like, oh no, she's human. She also has hot flashes. And then it happens. The romance begins.
So great. I'm so excited for this book to come out.
And I'm like 500 words from the end. I'm so excited.
Good.
I thought I was
publishers,
trying to finish before this, but
please be listening. We need this book in the universe. Do check out Kelly's wonderful book as well. I'm loving your story of this sort of accidental warlock and his demon love interest, because it's incredibly charming, everyone. I cannot overstate how good this book is. I have not finished it yet, but I'm loving it. I'm like, whenever I have time to read, I'm like, I'll just that's 2 minutes here. Just read one chapter, it'll be fine. Okay, it's just so good. And Ty, of course, I consumed Common Bond and also that short story. I definitely consumed that as well, and it's very good. And have a fan
Yeah.
and a cooling drink nearby is what my recommendation for you. Something very icy, because you may need it. Also, hello, my darling Karen, who is here all the way from Australia, who of course knows all about Tim Tams, and we love our Tim Tams. Karen is.
I do.
I'm
obsessed. I think I ate like 3 packages by myself. I was just like,
oh yeah, but the granddaughter brought a case.
He did. He bought like a giant box. I was like,
Tim Tams.
I was like, I'm just helping, making sure that you don't have to take this home. I am doing my civic duty.
You and Halo and everyone else we could get. Well, I said Halo, I mean Harlow. Everyone we could get. We were like, would you like a Tim Tam? We have a case of Tim Tams. Tim Tams for everyone. Also, thank you, Scone Mistress. I flounced through Worldcon. That's accurate. I love this. Charged and Ready did its job.
This is my best friend and my roommate. So I got home, I'm like, you have to read this.
Hello. Also, Kimmy Albie was responsible for that beautiful cover on.
She did the cover art for this one.
It's so beautiful. I love that cover. It's really stunning. It's really stunning. I don't know what a Tim Tam Slam is,
I'm listening.
And so we're going to need details about what that is, so that the next time we're together in a place, we can indulge in a Tim Tam Slam. Obviously,
yes, awesome.
I've been watching so much anime. It feels like a special anime move to me.
Right, yeah. This is what happens if tea dueling became an anime bit. Tim Tam Slam would be one of the tea dueling moves.
There you go.
I have such dreams. I have such yearning and longing. I want to be big in Japan, and I want to take tea dueling to Japan.
Tea dueling would be popular in Japan. Like, it would just.
Also, apparently, Karen did a video on her YouTube of a Tim Tam Slam. So we're going to have to go to your YouTube, Karen, and check it out. I'm very excited. Could be a wrestling finishing move as well. Yes. In tea dueling. It's a wrestling finishing move in tea dueling. Definitely those vibes. Scone Mistress, I love you so much. She says, I must embrace the dark bean. I have a confession. Scone Mistress. Long, long ago, in my checkered youth, I lived in Italy. And do you know what they have in Italy? A lot of the bean. The cursed bean. It's everywhere. You get up, there's bean juice. You go to bed, there's bean juice. It's everywhere. And whilst I was there, I drank so much bean juice.
How dare
I drank
you?
so much that I became cursed. And so I can no longer imbibe in the cursed bean because I have been permanently cursed. If I indulge in bean juice, very terrible things happen. I am not at liberty to discuss them publicly. What happens in Rome stays in Rome. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We'll just leave it there. We won't talk about what happened in Firenze because there was grappa involved too. Very dark time. Anyway.
On that note,
got dark plans in the chat. Thank you, everyone. Kimmy's ready for Tim Tams and Snark next year in Anaheim. Absolutely, sounds amazing. So everyone, thank you so much, and thank you to our incredible special co-hosts today. You've both been so fantastic. Let's do it again. You should come back. Do it again. We'll talk about something else. You know, the next time the Grand Arbiter's like, I have to go off on a date with Oberon or some nonsense. Always running off to the Feywilds and getting up to things. I see that we have some comments. Like you buy opposite corners of the Tim Tam and you drink the hot tea or bean juice through it like a straw. It's a glorious meltiness. Oh my god. Well,
I'm Tim Tam Slam curious.
Mistress, next year in Anaheim, Worldcon is coming.
Worldcon.
It's coming to your backyard. It's your opportunity. Everyone in Southern California, this is your opportunity to vote in the Hugos and to go to Worldcon. I had an amazing time this year. So.
And then the year after that is Montreal. So.
C'est bon. I mean, I'm ready.
It's that.
French.
Oh,
So,
there you go.
Right, a little bit. Yes, not. I mean, the Quebecois are much kinder to me about my French than the French are, so that's very nice. I like speaking French there because they're very kind, and I really appreciate that. No one ever corrects my use of the subjunctive, and that goes a long way in my book. But that's a wholly different tangent. And so, my darlings. I don't know if the voice of the Grand Arbiter is resonating in my head or if it's the awareness. It's 11 p.m. where Ty is at, but now is the time for us to say goodnight to you all and to say a very fond thank you to our incredible guests, Ty, Kelly. This has been a wonderful pleasure. So everyone,
thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Gosh. Oh my gosh. Literally anytime I can have an excuse to have you back, I will have you back. So wonderful. And we don't just have to talk about Sapphic books, but we can again. There's nothing stopping us. So,
the world is our oyster.
Absolutely. So everyone, please go out and read T.M. Kuta's books. Find your pearls, give them a rub. And also check out M.B. Kelly's books as I murder them both.
Kelly.
Look, if you're going to go oyster diving, you might as well go looking for treasure, is what I'm saying. And speaking of treasures, you're all my treasures. So please remember to treasure yourselves as I treasure you. I cannot be trusted when a joke is handed up to me like that. But you know what? I can be trusted with a Tim Tam and a cup of tea, I guess, because I've never tried to drink tea through the Tim Tam yet. Give it time. So go out and do something kind for yourself. Buy a case of Tim Tams. Go hook up with some friends in a hotel room at 10 p.m. to talk about books. Whatever it is, find something that fulfills your soul, reminds you of what a treasure you are, and do that thing, my darlings, because the world may be hard, but you're irreplaceable. And I long to have more fine adventures with all of you and with my two dear friends who are here with me today. We can only do that if everyone remembers to wash their hands, get their vitamins and minerals, drink the good tea, get those vaccines and boosters. Frankly, don't fuck around, because life is short and I would like to spend it with all of you. Good night, everyone. Cheers.